Bessie Coleman was born on January 26, 1892, in rural Texas, where she grew up in a large family with very little money. She walked for miles to a one-room schoolhouse, often studying without the basic materials that other children had. Even with these hardships, Bessie excelled in mathematics and completed 8 grades. Her difficult childhood did not stop her from imagining a bigger future. At 18, Bessie left Texas for Oklahoma and enrolled at Oklahoma Colored Agricultural and Normal University in Langston. After 1 semester, she moved to Chicago and worked as a manicurist at the White Sox barber shop. In Chicago, she listened for hours to pilots telling stories about their adventures during World War I. Those stories made her want to fly. And she learned that French women were allowed to become pilots while African American women in the United States were not. Bessie applied to flight schools throughout the United States, but school after school rejected her because she was both a woman and African American. These refusals could have ended her dream, but Bessie chose a different path. She decided to learn French, travel abroad, and train in Europe, where she believed she would have a real chance to earn her wings. Chicago Defender publisher Robert Abbott and a local banker supported Bessie's plan. She studied French and traveled to France in late 1920, where she enrolled at the Codron Brothers Flight School. She learned to fly a Nieuport Type 80 biplane, which used a vertical control stick in front of the pilot and a rudder beneath the pilot's feet. Her training was demanding, but she continued until she was ready for the license exam. On June 15, 1921, Bessie Coleman became the first African-American woman in the world to earn a pilot's license from the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. After several more months of training with a French pilot in Paris, she started back toward the United States. Bessie soon understood that having a license was not enough. If she wanted to become a stunt pilot, she needed advanced training, so she returned to Europe for 2 additional months. Bessie traveled to the Netherlands and Germany, where she met aircraft designer Anthony Fokker. She also received training from one of the best pilots in the Fokker Corporation. In September 1921, she returned home ready to perform exhibition flights. Her arrival caused a media sensation, and the public began to know her by the names Queen Bess and Jemmy. Bessie flew the Curtiss JN-4 Jenny biplane in stunt shows across the United States. In February 1922, she appeared in her first American Air Show, an event honoring Black World War I veterans of the 369th Infantry Regiment. At Curtiss Field on Long Island, she was praised as the world's greatest woman flyer and performed aerial displays alongside some of America's top wartime pilots. After the New York performance, Bessie returned to Chicago and amazed huge crowds at the Checkerboard Aerodrome in Midway Airport. Her daring figure eights, loops, and near-ground dips made her a celebrated stunt pilot. Although she had achieved her childhood dream of amounting to something, she had an even greater dream: to establish a school for young Black aviators in America. Sadly, she would never live to see that school open. On April 30, 1926, Bessie prepared to fly in an air show in Jacksonville, Florida, using a newly purchased Curtiss JN-4. Friends warned her about safety problems, but she and mechanic and publicity agent William Wills took the plane up. Bessie sat in the other seat and looked over the terrain for a parachute jump plan for the next day. About 10 minutes into the flight, the plane spun into an unintended dive. Bessie fell from about 500 feet and died instantly, while Wills died when the plane crashed. Investigators later found that a wrench had jammed the controls. More than 5,000 mourners attended Bessie's funeral in Jacksonville on May 2, 1926. 3 days later, thousands more honored her in Orlando, and her body was finally returned to Chicago, where more than 10,000 people passed by her casket before her burial in Lincoln Cemetery. After her death, Bessie Coleman Aero Clubs formed around the country. In 1931, they sponsored the first all-African American air show, attracting more than 15,000 spectators. Her courage helped future aviators believe that they, too, could dare to dream.